Hello boys and girls, welcome back to another edition of Crush Lusher Television. Alright, so now we know where sine and cosine are on the first quadrant. So let's just review that before we get to our next step, which is the sine and cosine in every quadrant. Okay, so now we're right here. Let's look at this. So here's first quadrant, right? First quadrant. So this right here is a 30-degree angle. And so we know that the point here is radical 3 over 2, comma, 1/2. We learned that last time by using a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So that would mean that radical 3 over 2 is the x-coordinate and 1/2 is the y-coordinate. Okay? And we also learned that cosine is the x and sine is the y. So here at 30 degrees, the coordinate is radical 3 over 2, comma 1/2. This is good review. The value of the sine is the y-coordinate right here, and so that's going to be 1/2. Cosine of 30 degrees is the x-coordinate, boom, boom, boom. That would be radical 3 over 2. Cool, got it. Okay, so now 45 degrees. So now, ooh, look at this, trace this, 45 degrees. So what's the point at 45 degrees? That would be radical 2 over 2, comma, radical 2 over 2. Okay, so now we got that using 45, 45, 90 triangles. So that's radical 2 over 2, comma, radical 2 over 2. Boom. What is the sine? That would be the y, radical 2 over 2. And the cosine, that would be the x. And so that's going to be radical 2 over 2. It's the same thing, so that's easy to remember. 60 degrees, 60 degrees is right here. What was that? Oh, it's kind of reversed to the 30, right? It's a 30, 60, 90, but it's just sort of inverted. So you got radical 3 over 2 for the y. So that's 1/2 radical 3 over 2. Boom. Okay, so what does that mean? So what's the sine? Sine is the x to the y. Yeah, you're right. It's the y. Radical 3 over 2. Cosine is the x. So that's going to be 1/2. Got it. Okay, so that's a good review. You should have memorized that. So now, what are the coordinates? Ooh, of 90 degrees now. Ooh, 90 degrees. So we remember that the unit circle is called the unit circle because all the radii are 1. And so this radius is 1, this radius is 1, this radius is 1, and that's what we use to construct our 30, 60, 90, or 45, 45, 90. So this right here is just 0, 1. That's the point. So the coordinates at this point are 0, 1. Okay. What's the value of sine? Sine is the y, so that's going to be 1. Easy. That's the y. Cosine, that would be the x, so that's 0. Got it. Okay. Where are we at now? What would be the coordinates of 0 degrees? Ooh, we haven't done that yet. So 0 degrees is here. And so that radius is 1. And so that's going to be 1, comma 0. Easy. What's the sine of 0? Sine is the y-coordinate, so that would be 0. And the cosine of 0 is the x-coordinate, so that would be 1. Cool. Okay, so now let's look at this. So now let's put it all together. So now we have one thing all like this. All right. So now we're going to go beyond the first quadrant. Okay, so first, let's label what we got. So we got 0, 30 degrees. That's 45 degrees. Then we have 60 degrees. Then we have 90 degrees. Pause the video and see if you can do the rest. Ready, set, go. All right, you got it? You got it? You go faster than me. 135, 150, 180, 210, 225, 240, 270, 300, 315, 330, and then 360 all the way back to the start. There you go. Okay, so we got that. So now it's time to add our points. So we know that at point 0, that's 1, 0, because this radius is 1. This at 30 degrees is radical 3 over 2, comma, 1/2. Now, if we know this is 30 degrees, we're talking about reference angles, right? So look, what if I drew a straight line here? Look at this angle here. This is also 30 degrees. That's a reference angle. So this right here, this right triangle is the same as this right triangle. So therefore, the points at 210 are identical to the points at 30 because they both have 30-degree reference angles. So 2 10 points are going to be radical 3 over 2, comma, 1/2. Except one thing. What's going to be different? Oh yeah, I know. That's because this is in quadrant 3, so you have negative x, negative y. Let's write this down. Quadrant 1, we always have positive x, positive y. That's why it's called quadrant 1. Quadrant 2, what do we have? We have negative x, positive y. And then quadrant 4, we have positive x, negative y. So that's going to help guide us in writing down our points. Because if you notice, the right triangles are the same. So that would mean that 210 is negative x, negative y. Cool. Where else do I have a 30-degree reference angle? Oh, right here, don't I? So this angle is also 30 degrees. So that would mean this triangle is congruent, is the same as the other two we were talking about. And so 150 has the same coordinates, radical 3 over 2, 1/2, except right here we have x is negative and y is positive because we're in quadrant 2. Got it. Also, oh, there's one more here. Look at this. This reference angle is the same also. So this is a 30-degree reference angle, which means it's the same right triangle. So 330 has the same coordinates also, radical 3 over 2, comma, 1/2. Okay, so that would mean that we have positive x, negative y, so that it would be radical 3 over 2, comma, negative 1/2. Woo, got it. All right, so what else do we got? Oh, 45 degrees, right? Radical 2 over 2, comma, radical 2 over 2. Where else do we see the same right triangle? Oh, down here, right? This is also a 45-degree reference angle, so 225 is radical 2 over 2, radical 2 over 2. But quadrant 3, yeah, they're both negative. So it's a negative radical 2 over 2, negative radical 2 over 2. Cool. Where else do I see a 45-degree reference angle? Oh, up here. Anything that ends in a 5, right? You're probably seeing that. So 135 is going to be radical 2 over 2, radical 2 over 2, but the x is going to be negative because we're in quadrant 2. Oh, last one, right? This right here, 315 is radical 2 over 2, comma, negative radical 2 over 2. Bam. Okay, what else do we got? Oh, we didn't do the 60-degree reference angles, right? Let's do those in purple. Whoop. Right here, 60 degree, that would be 1/2 for the x, radical 3 over 2. I just memorized that. So now I go down here, see that straight line right there in purple? Bam. So that would mean that 240 is the same reference angle. So 240 is 1/2 radical 3 over 2. But both x and y are negative, so it's negative 1/2, negative radical 3 over 2. Oh, there's a 60-degree reference angle right there, and so 120 also is the same, so that's 1/2 radical 3 over 2 with a negative x because we're in quadrant 2. And then I can draw a straight line down here, and so 300 is going to be 1/2 radical 3 over 2, and so that would mean that x is positive, y is negative in quadrant 4. Whoop, got it. Okay, so we got all these. What have we missed? Oh, 90 degrees, that's 0, 1 because we have 1 here. We missed 180 degrees, that is 1, so that would be negative 1, 0. And we have 270, which is 0, negative 1, because the length of the radius is 1. Now we have, oh my god, all of the points. All of the points. How are we going to memorize this? We are going to practice. You see this right here. You see this one down here. You see this one down here. You're going to fill all those out. Plus, you're going to write it also in your notebook. So you're going to write this down here. You're going to practice it, and then do it in your notebook. You got to memorize this, because soon you're going to have to do it straight out the top of your head. Ready, set, pause the video. Practice it, and then come back when you're ready. Ready, set, go. Okay, so now we're going to practice a little bit. Sorry, coordinates is misspelled here. Coordinates. That's how you spell it, and all these. Sorry about that. Spell check must have messed me up. My bad. Okay, so what are the coordinates of the unit circle for a 30-degree angle? So that would be the first thing. So we're going to do Candyland style. We're going to start here. We're going to end down the bottom. So 30-degree angle, that would be radical 3 over 2, comma, 1/2. Radical 3 over 2 is right here. Boop, 1/2. Boom, right here. There I am. Okay, well, 45-degree angle, that's radical 2 over 2, comma, radical 2 over 2. Got it? So that's radical 2 over 2, radical 2 over 2, moving right along. Okay, how about 60-degree reference angle? That's or no, just a 60-degree angle, not a reference angle. 1/2 radical 3 over 2. Cool. 1/2 radical 3 over 2. Moving along. Okay, 135-degree angle. I'm going to try and do this without looking. 135 angle. So if I were to draw a picture, and this is how I do it, I'm not looking at my notes to see if I can do it. 135 is right here, and I know that this is a 45-degree reference angle. And so if I have my circle here, my unit circle, that would mean that this is the same as that, 45 degrees. So this 135 is going to be radical 2 over 2, comma, radical 2 over 2. What quadrant am I in? The second. The second quadrant has a negative x and a positive y. So that would mean negative radical 2 over 2, positive radical 2 over 2. Oh, negative radical 2 over 2, positive radical. Ooh, cool. Cool. Now I'm on my way. All right. So next one is 330-degree angle. Oh, man. 330. All right. So draw another picture. 330 right here. That would be a 30-degree reference angle. So 330 is all the way here. 30-degree angle is the same as this right here. 30-degree angle is the same as this. So that would be radical 3 over 2, comma, 1/2. That's where 330 is. Okay. Quadrant 4 has got positive x, negative y. So it's radical 3 over 2, right down here. Radical 3 over 2, comma, negative 1/2. Radical 3 over 2, boom. Negative 1/2, boom. Doot, 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 doot. And then I keep going. Try and do the rest. You got F, G, H, I, and J. Try and do all of these right here without using your notes. See if you can memorize it. Ready, set, go.